この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りしました。
Yo, everyone, I'm in. This time we will discuss Blue Lock in the manga version. Before we start, please support this channel by hit the like and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get started. In the previous episode, as Rin and Bachira finished their training, Isagi was unexpectedly waiting outside the room. And at that moment, Isagi challenged Rin to a rematch to avenge the previous match and get Bachira back. 20 hours before the match started, in his room Isagi told his team that he had confirmed the next opponent, and they were the top 3. After that, Isagi predicted the formation that the opponent would use: Bachira as the playmaker, Tokimitsu and Ryu as the wings, and Rin as the center striker. To counter that formation, Isagi suggested a simple strategy to his teammates. In this strategy, he intends to face Rin in the middle of the field. Then he asks Chigiri to face Ryu, Baro to face Bachira, and Nagi to face Tokimitsu. At that moment, Isagi confidently motivated his teammates to defeat their opponent, because if they can win in the match, they will all automatically pass the second selection. 9 hours before the match begins, in the red team's locker room, Tokimitsu came up to Bachira, who was tying his shoelaces, and he thanks him for changing the team to be better than before because Bachira is not a selfish player. Tokimitsu asked Bachira to pass to him again like in training. Then Ryu asked Bachira to pass to him so he could score in a stylish manner. As his teammates were ready, Rin asked them to enter the field as the match was about to begin. Then with a glare he planned to defeat his opponent instantly. The red team entered the field with the lineups: Itoshi Rin, Ryu Jubei, Tokimitsu Aoshi, and Bachira Meguru. Meanwhile, the white team was waiting on the field with the lineups: Isagi Yoichi, Nagise Shiro, Baro Shuei, and Chigiri Hyoma. But suddenly before the match started, a huge commotion broke out on the field, during which time Baro wanted to change the strategy they had previously agreed before. Baro decided to face off against Tokimitsu. This was because Baro was annoyed by Tokimitsu's cowardly attitude and lack of seriousness in the match. Besides that, Baro was curious about how great Tokimitsu's ability was, because when Baro intended to lift Tokimitsu's body and drag his body into the field, Baro was unable to do that. And not only Baro, at that time Nagi said to Isagi that he wanted to change his guard position. Nagi wanted to face off Itoshi Rin, because he thought it was useless for him to leave Ryo if he doesn't become strong. After hearing those words Isagi agreed, but if Nagi lost, he would step in to destroy Rin. As a result of the recent deal, the formation has changed, which means Isagi will now face Bachira. They kick off the match. Rin quickly sent the ball to Bachira, but Isagi quickly blocked Bachira's movement. Initially Bachira was very confident that he would pass Isagi. With max speed scissor feint he tried to pass Isagi, but Isagi was not provoked by that movement. Isagi stopped his body, and he closely watched Bachira's movements at that time. When Bachira moved sharply to the side quickly with the aim of breaking through Isagi's defense, but at that moment Isagi was still able to follow Bachira's movements. Isagi was intently observing Bachira's movements without even blinking a single glance. At that moment Bachira realized Isagi using his awareness of the entire field in order to position himself. Instead of getting hung up on the 1 versus 1 against Bachira, Isagi's defending base on which side of the field he doesn't want Bachira to go. Right now, Nagi covering Isagi's left flank, which means that even if Bachira manages to get past Isagi, they can recover. But since there's nobody to his right, if Bachira passed him there, he could score a free goal. Isagi faces Bachira with the understanding of the critical hole in their defense. Isagi's ability to instantly grasp the situation has gone up a level. Looks like the way Isagi uses his eyes has evolved. From that situation, Bachira decided to break through towards Nagi's position, but unexpectedly Baro was already behind Bachira to chase the ball from him. At this point Bachira realized that his move had been predicted by the two of them, and the plan was to surround Bachira. When he was surrounded, Bachira took the initiative to pass the ball to Tokimitsu, who happened to be standing freely without guarding. But unfortunately, Isagi had predicted it. Isagi managed to intercept the pass from Bachira, and directly sent a pass to Nagi, who was in front with guarding from Itoshi Rin. It was at this moment that a brilliant game scheme was shown by Nagi. When he realized that Rin was in the perfect position to stop him, Nagi quickly changed his plan, and he passed the ball into the empty area behind him, where in that area Chigiri was ready to run at full speed to chase the ball in front of him. But it didn't stop there. It turned out that Ryu and Rin had predicted the direction of the ball passed by Nagi, but unfortunately Ryu and Rin still failed to stop the fast movement of Chigiri, and in the end, Chigiri was able to overcome them both, and immediately shot towards the red team's goal, and the goal was scored. And now the score changes to a 1-0 advantage for the white team. At this moment, Bachira's spirit began to ignite, because he was finally able to find a strong opponent, so from this moment on Bachira would start to get serious. Right after the kickoff, Rin quickly passed the ball to Bachira. Then he made a quick play and passed the ball to Ryu, who was in a running battle with Chigiri. With his long legs, Ryu intercepted Bachira's pass in midair, just before Chigiri could grab the ball. Ryu then quickly passed to Tokimitsu, who was guarding Baro. Unable to get past Baro's guard, Tokimitsu decided to pass the ball to Rin. After Rin took a pass from Tokimitsu, Rin directly dribbled the ball running towards the goal. Seeing that Nagi quickly responds and directly launches a tackle which is right towards Rin. But unfortunately Nagi was tricked, because it turned out that Rin directly turned his body, and he immediately dribbled the ball in the other direction. Isagi, who saw that, covered the defense and blocked Rin's attack. But at the same time, suddenly Bachira runs behind Isagi and it distracts Isagi's attention to Rin. After Isagi's focus was distracted, Chigiri, who saw Rin make a move to shoot the ball, he reflexively moved to cover the direction of Rin's ball shot. But unexpectedly it turned out that Rin did a trick for the second time to Chigiri. Seeing the situation, Isagi directly covered the defense by trying to give a tackle, but it was useless. Rin was able to avoid it, and as he flew in the air he shot toward the goal, and managed to equalize. Even though Isagi was not up to par with Rin's abilities, and also stopped his movements, it didn't seem to frustrate him at all. In his mind, he felt that he was getting closer to Itoshi Rin's abilities, even though in the previous match, Isagi couldn't even understand why he lost. But now, if he can devour Rin, he can win. Then in the next scene, Isagi explains to his teammates about Itoshi Rin's style of play. Isagi said, "It makes sense how he got past us. In that play just now, Rin was constantly positioning himself in a range from where he could shoot the ball. That's why no matter what we did, we were always one step behind. He reads several steps ahead of the game, and while we're still processing the situation, he lures us in. I think that's his core style of play." Then Chigiri said, "You know Isagi, the fact that you can explain Rin's play in an instant like that, makes you kind amazing too." From those words, Isagi realized that this was not something that everyone could understand like him. In other words, right now in the field who could follow Itoshi Rin's playing style was only him, and someone who could stop Rin's playing style was only Isagi's eyes and brain. The white team kicked off with Nagi passing Chigiri to the right side of the field. Rin was positioned to cover Ryu from Chigiri's attack, while Nagi broke through from the left side of the field. And while all eyes were focused on Nagi, in an instant Isagi slipped past Bachira from the blind spot. Chigiri, who saw Isagi in a free position without being guarded, quickly passed the ball to Isagi. But unexpectedly, Rin suddenly jumped and intercepted Chigiri's pass. In this situation it was clear that Rin had predicted the situation one step ahead of Isagi. And not long after that Rin passed to Bachira, who was in a free position without a guard, and Bachira immediately connected the play with a long pass to Ryu, who was already on the front line. Even though Ryu was being guarded by Nagi and Chigiri, it was not difficult for Ryu to get the ball, because at that point Ryu quickly jumped first, and intercepted the flow of the ball. Until finally the pass could be used by him to create a goal with his heading. From the results of the new goal, the temporary score position in this match is 2-1 in the advantage of the red team. Until here this episode, what do you think? Give your opinion about this episode. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the latest videos. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.